Joining me is an opponent of The Voice, Warren Mundine, former National President of the Labor Party and advisor to two Liberal Prime Ministers. Warren, the voice of reason. First, Marsha Langton. Are you surprised that Langton has such a big role in designing The Voice when she has been so abusive to people who cross her path?
Look, I'm not surprised by her comments. That's not to say they should be let off for creating such evil comments in the first place. You know, bringing eugenics in it is a throwback to the 1930s and the 40s, where Nazis were putting Jews and Gypsies and Catholics and other people into the and people with autism and that into the gas chambers. Now, this is to use such a vile comment is, you know, and following that up after Noel Pearson's vile and racist attack on the National Party and Jacinta Price, Senator Jacinta Price, is just disgraceful. This is, you know, really dragging it down to the gutter. And of course, we know that that Dr. Anthony Dillon was verbally abused in the Qantas lounge. And so we're starting to, you know, the people who are talking about bringing this together, the people who are designing this so-called voice to Parliament, are the ones who are out there, you know, doing the racial attacks and dividing us.
It's so extraordinary and so hypocritical, and I can't believe Marsha Langton doesn't know what she's doing. But anyway, the abuse has a purpose, Warren. I fear, right? It's clearly meant to scare people into shutting up, or else they'll fear that they'll be smeared throughout the country as a racist. And as soon as you say, I'm not a racist, everyone says, aha, you are. You know, I think it could be very, very effective. What are you picking up here?
Look, I think it can be very effective as well. I know conservative Aboriginals who don't support The Voice, but they're too nervous to come out and say it in publicly. They're going to do that in the polling booth. So that's what I say to all Australian voters. If we want to bring and unite Australia, The Voice is not the way to do it. It is dividing us. It is bringing out racial attacks, and also when you look at how the government is going to be running the program. You just mentioned that yes gets tax concessions, no doesn't, and that the education program they're going to be running out there is just about how wonderful the vote is. So the whole thing's a fraud. It's fraudulently run. The government is running a false campaign and trying to divide this nation over something which is built on a fallacy. And the fallacy is that Aboriginal people do not have a voice to Parliament. And they do. There are people elected across parliaments across Australia, territory, states and federal, and there are also Aboriginal advisors within each of the offices of the government and the opposition and the crossbenchers. There's also committees that have been set up to each of the important areas for Indigenous people, such as the health department, the legal service, etc., etc., etc. In fact, I'd say there's more Aboriginals sitting in the public service there advising the government than there are actually Aboriginals out there working in other areas. It is, you know, this is just becoming ridiculous. And it has no legs to stand on. But the worst part of it all is the abuse that Senator Jacinta Price and Dr. Anthony Dillon and myself and others receive in the social media and across areas. The racist, dreadful abuse that people of the Yes campaign are chucking at us is just incredible. You know, I've taken photos of all these tweets and all these attacks, and I'm running out of space in my computer for them. And we haven't even really started the campaign yet.
Well, it's so weird. You know, when you say that, Warren, I'm always, you know, sort of reluctant to mention all this for fear of scaring other people off supporting the no case, which I think is a moral one, no to racism. But the point is here, one of the things about it is the whole idea of The Voice, we're told, among other things, is to end racism. And yet we see these racist attacks on you, on Dr. Anthony Dillon, and on Jacinta Price. And I don't see, I haven't heard Noel Pearson being disowned by many people at all on the left that claim they're very hot on, or very against racism. I haven't heard them condemn him, and I haven't heard them condemn Marsha Langton either. What is going on here? It seems to me it's about the principle. It's not about the principle with them, not about the principle, it's about the side.
Well, it's about race baiting people that don't agree with them. You're seeing it through the corporations at the moment. I was approached in regard to speaking at a large corporation function so that we can educate them about The Voice. They've soon later on, they pulled out of that, of us, Jacinta Price and myself being there. So as far as I can see, within these large corporations who are going to be funding this program and educating their staff is propaganda, and that they are lying to their staff, I will say, in regard to The Voice. And I just find this incredible that some of these large corporations, some of these people I know working in business and that with them, have drunk the Kool-Aid, and rather than having a proper debate where you listen to the no and you listen to the yes, and then people can make up their own minds on that. In fact, I say to the staff of these large corporations, don't worry. The good news for you is your corporate bosses and these so-called educators will not be able to go into the polling booth with you, and so you can vote any way you like.
That's the way. That's so true. But that's the thing, they abuse you, and the companies make a rational decision, I suppose. They think they don't want their brand getting the same abuse and people stop buying their stuff. That's what they're thinking. Warren Mundine, you would be a brilliant man in charge of an organisation to run the no case. We still don't have one, and I'm hoping that you'll be tempted to do exactly that. Warren Mundine, thank you so much for your time.